Alright everybody, in this video we're going to be working on my 2005 F150. The issue with this one was that there was no AC onto the vehicle. So basically what would end up happening is that when I would turn the AC on, the AC would come on, it would be nice and cold, and all of a sudden it would be very sporadic. It would go on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, and it was actually quite annoying, and then eventually it would just like cut out. So I already have it diagnosed, I have it fixed, up to date, it is working as it should. If you remember last year I said that there was an issue on this vehicle, and I thought it was going to be related to maybe an orifice tube or something like that, but it was completely the opposite direction and went towards more the electrical side. So what I thought I'd do in this one is just bring you guys through the steps that I took in order to diagnose the vehicle, and hopefully shed some light on an issue that could happen on one of your potential vehicles that you might be looking at or might be working on right now. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get started. All right, so I'm going to bring you guys through the steps that I took in order to diagnose this. So the first step was, of course, verifying that the compressor was either turning on or not turning on. All right, so first all I did was start the vehicle. I put it to max AC. All right, and from there what I did was that I came over, now with the wiring diagram, and I just took a visual. All right, and I looked down and I seen that my clutch was not spinning. So for me, it was either going to be a coil issue for the clutch, or was gonna either be an input issue up to the coil. So the next thing I did was I grabbed the wiring diagram. Go through this with you guys very, very quickly. All right, the sun's coming back out. It's going to end up getting hot. All right, so first thing I did was that I looked for my fuses. Now I have a fuse 11 and a fuse 32. All right, now fuse 11 is hot at all times, and fuse 32 is only hot in start. So hot in run or start. What I did was that I took and I verified fuse 32. Fuse 32 was okay. I verified fuse 11. Fuse 11 was open. Right now I have fuse 11 actually taken out because I have the vehicle as it was when I had the issue happen. So right now fuse 11 is out to simulate an open circuit onto the system. So from there, what I did was that I actually put another fuse into it because I don't have a fuse buddy or anything like that, and it was shorting to ground. I could have put a light into it, but I have so many of the fuses just lying around, so I just popped another one into it. And when I popped the fuse didn't blow. So what I did next was that I went over and I turned on the air conditioner. And as soon as I turned on the air conditioner, the fuse popped. So that was telling me that there was an issue onto the control side of the relay. Well, not the load side of the relay, sorry. All right, because fuse 11 is only connected to your load side. So from there, what I did was that I came over here to the relay, which is all the way over here. All right, let's pop him out for everybody. I'm gonna go through this step by step with everybody. So my auxiliary relay box, which is right here. All right, I actually still have it open, and that's just for testing purposes here. So right now, with the system off, this pink blue wire will not have any power, which is fine. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, and this red yellow wire that's over here should have power also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just grab my test light. Grab this guy and grab this guy. All right, and when I mean test light, I mean a bulb, not that wants something that actually carries some load. Okay, because I'm trying to test my powers. Typically, I would go to a better ground than this, but this should be fine for this example. All right, so I'll ground that guy out, keep my bulb in frame as best as I can, and then I came over. Oh, dang it! Try ground this guy out again. All right, that should be okay. Now we're gonna come down. We shall test this one. This one should not light, as you can see. And then this one over here should light, if my ground is good. My ground might not be good. Or I'm on the wrong wire. Let's try the other one. There it is. All right, so I was on the wrong wire, sorry. So that red yellow, okay, is the ignition power onto fuse 32, which is good. Then when I came up here onto this wire, we should have power right there right now, and we do not. The reason we don't have power is because there's no fuse put in. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna make sure that the system's off, and I'm gonna go put in a fuse. All right, so let's take this, turn the system off, so because I don't want it to short out. All right, let's take my fuse, put my fuse in. All right, the fuse is back in. It's this guy right here. All right, now we're gonna go test for power again. And as you can see, now we have power. So I got power leading up to it, and the only thing that's missing now is the control for the relay. Now I'm not gonna control the relay, because if I control the relay, it's gonna short out my system. So the next thing I did is that I came over and I am going to turn the vehicle off now. All right. Turn the vehicle off. Turn this guy back on. All right. Now, so I know that with my fuse in, I have power now. So what I did next was that I followed down to my relay. My relay lit up. So that means that my short is not on this side. So that means that my short is going to be on the load side. So it's going to be going towards the coil. So the next thing I did was that I came over to this connector, and I used this guy to get to him. I might have to put you guys down for that one. I'm going to show you guys where this connector lives, and we're going to pop him off. Okay. So that's going to be the next step, because we have to test our connector down here to see if maybe we are shorted to ground when everything is connected. Or actually, we got to make sure that we're not shorted to the ground just like this with the key on. All right. So I'm not even turning the system on completely yet. We're just going to see if my power wire might be shorted to ground onto this side, which we could probably just go up to pin 5 and do that too. But anyway, let's do it down at the connector. And it's just the way that I went through this diagnostic process. I always go to my component and I test straight at my component. For me, I find it just more logical and saves me a lot of time. So let's go show you where this guy lives, and I'm going to take him out and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so this connector, we should be able to see him fairly. Let's see. I don't know if you guys see that black connector down here where the light's pointing, where that yellow wire is. Well, it looks like yellow, but it's actually white. Okay, that's the wire, that's the connector that we have to take off. So I'm gonna put you guys down. I'm gonna take him off. It's just a little clip on the side, but you can't really get to it unless you use like a pick, a very, very long pick in order to take out the connector. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right, so I have the connector taken out. So what we're gonna do real quick is just take the light bulb, and we're gonna bring the light bulb over to this side. Now, the white wire, try to give you guys a view of this. The white wire is supposed to be my power. All right, so that's this guy. So that's what I'm gonna test right now. Actually, I'm gonna test for something else first, okay? I'm gonna test my ground, because I believe that what I thought was that I had a short to ground. So give me a moment. I'll plug him into my ground. Flip him around so I can get him in. Sorry about the view, guys. Trying to do this one hand, very difficult. Come on, you. Oh. Give me a second. All right, so let's test for my ground. So let's just hook him up to a power. Okay, the ground is directly to body on this one. As we see, nice and bright. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is switch over to my power side. Now what you have to remember is that I am not on right now, so my AC system is not on. All right, so I'm just going to take him and I'm going to plug him in. I don't know if you guys see, this is my control side. All right, my control side is this white wire, and I am hooked onto it. I am hooked onto power, and my light bulb is lighting. That tells me that I have a direct short to ground. So before I went too crazy onto anything, I came back to the wiring diagram and I looked at the wiring diagram. So what else do I have on here on the control side besides the wiring harness itself? If I can't come over here, I have an AC compressor, the AC compressor clutch diode. And if we see here, my AC compressor clutch diode goes directly to ground, and it is hooked onto the power side. So before I went too crazy, I went up to this diode. Oh, I just pulled out that connector. Give me a second. Put this guy back in. All right, so we are hooked up to that. So that diode lives over here. Now this is supposed to be a suppression diode. So basically when the AC system gets turned on, this little diode is just supposed to take and basically not allow the spikes to enter into the electrical system and maybe damage the sensitive electronics inside the computer or anything. So I'm just going to take him and I'm just going to pull him out. I don't know if you guys see my light went out. I'm going to take him out, put him back, off, on, off. So I was like, okay, it seems to be like if my diode's shorted out. Now, how can we test it to see if a diode shorted out? Well, a diode should only let voltage into go through in one direction. So basically, if we take a clamp onto one leg of that diode and we touch the other side and we do a resistance onto it, that resistance should be in the mega ohms onto one way, and it should be on in the open on the other leg. All right, so I'm just gonna take him, I'll stick him in there. All right, make sure he's not touching. We'll take this guy, we'll turn this guy on. We'll take one leg, we'll put it here. Hopefully it's touching. All right, I don't know if you guys see my reading. Let me get in here. It's gonna be kind of hard with one hand, I think. I'm gonna try my best though. Ooh, 0.2 ohms. Okay, let's flip it around. Let's put this guy in here. Stick this guy back in. Touch again. I don't know if you guys see. Oh, I lost my... Give me a minute. I'm not getting it right. Give me a second, guys. There, this should be better. All right, so we're still at 0.2 ohms, 0.3 ohms. All right, a diode should only allow current to flow in one direction. And even though I didn't use the diode test, it's still a valid test for diodes, and I will prove it to you guys. Okay? You guys do remote starters, so I always have little diodes lying around. Okay? I don't know what type of amperage this diode's supposed to be. This is a 1 amp diode. Maybe this is a 3 amp or a 6 amp. I really don't know. They don't really put any like information about that into them. So, oh, where'd that go? Into my little cut. There are numbers onto this though, so maybe I can find it. Maybe I can find out how many amps the diodes are supposed to be on these ones. Okay. But anyway, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the diode. I'm just going to put it in. Like I said, this is just a quick and dirty test to show everybody, okay? So in this way, we are reading OL. Nope, we're not. Sorry. Give me 1 second. So like this, we are reading in the mega ohms. Well, okay. but it's still reading in the mega ohms onto the scale. All right, now we're going to take and flip it around. All right, so we have our ground side over here and our positive side over here. So now we're just going to flip it. All right, so now we have our ground side onto our positive lead and our positive side onto our ground lead. And as we see, it is OL. All right, and that's the way that it should be. All right, so what was causing all my little issue onto my AC system was this diode is actually no bueno. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little diagnostic video. It was a little bit different than what I normally do. I do want to try to do a live diagnostic with you guys, but with school and everything right now, I just really don't have the time. So, but the next diagnostic that I get, I think I'm supposed to have one tomorrow, and it's supposed to be a battery drain onto a car. I might actually try to do a live diagnostic with that one and see how that goes. But with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you guys next time.